Hello, welcome to our channel, Zion Treasure Hunts, and my name is Kristine. In this video, we are going to go over all of the highest priced items that my store sold in July. So if that's something you like to see, then stick around. Okay, so if you've watched our channel, you've heard a lot about the Disney house that we went to, and I won't go into it too much. There's plenty of videos on it, but these dolls sold. They sold, let's get this here, so $420 all in. So I'm just going to give the all-in price instead of basically that's just the selling price plus the shipping, add them together. That's the all-in price. So very, very good sale at $420, and couldn't have been happier. It was a little stressful shipping them because it's so much money, but they did get there safely and we received positive feedback on them. So all in all, fantastic sale for July. Okay, so this next item is a vintage Sony. It was factory sealed CD changer, and the reason why it was so expensive because it was vintage and it was sealed. And so to have a vintage brand new factory sealed item is rare, so people are willing to pay up for it based on the model number. So this one had a good sell-through rate. Used, so to have a new one brand new sealed was awesome, and the all-in price was $338. So that was good. I do believe it was like a close to us place that we were shipping to, so it really didn't cost that much. I think through pirate ship, UPS was $40. So if you haven't used pirate ship, definitely look into them. For the most part, we ship everything through USPS through the eBay app, but when we get into some of these bigger items, we definitely want to use pirate ship so that our shipping is not connected to our eBay account with UPS, because we've had some issues with them and we'd rather just connect that transaction to our bank account where we have more control over the transaction, if that makes sense. This next one, Justus, my husband, actually found this. This was such an amazing sale, you guys. It was the Winterland 1973 Grateful Dead CD. It was a complete recordings, so in the box, and it was in extremely good condition. It was such a good sale because it was a really neat item to sell, but also it was tiny, and so shipping it was really inexpensive, and the buyer was all in at $265. So that was awesome. I think Justus found that at a garage sale or an estate sale and only paid a few bucks for it, maybe 5, maybe 10, but not much more than that. So that was really cool and a great day to get that sale. Next, we have this Easton Reflex bat, baseball bat, and these do really well. This was a vintage baseball bat, and so the buyer was all in at $195, and Justus found this at an estate sale, and it was only $5. That bat sold. It had several offers on it as soon as it was listed, and I took a best offer on it later that night, so just a couple of hours of listing it, it sold for the $195. So very good sale. So this Canon PowerShot G9, you might have seen us pick it up at a yard sale in our videos, and we paid $5 or $10 for it, I can't remember, but it sold for $184, and it sold just within a couple of days. So since we've been reselling for the last 5 years, we have established a lot of followers now, and so on my store in particularly, I have a lot of followers, and I do sell cameras really quickly, especially if they are Canon. So look out for Canon cameras. But yeah. And then this next item is a Yamaha CD player, and this was free from our friend Robin, who runs estate sales. So a lot of the times she just doesn't want to have to deal with the cost of getting rid of CD players, DVD players, DVD, CD recorders, all those kinds of things. So we usually go to her sale on the last day that she's having it, and she will practically give us stuff for free. And especially like on these bigger, bulkier items, she just gives them to us. And then on other smaller items, she'll just give us like an extremely good deal on them. So like a entire pile for like $25. She's awesome. And then next we have this Pentax K135mm camera. We paid $10 for this, and it was in extremely nice condition, and the buyer was all in at $162. So, and I believe we picked it up at an estate sale. Okay, so next up we have this Canon PowerShot SX230. So you can see that I sell a lot of cameras, and this one actually Justus found a connection through Facebook Marketplace, and this guy is awesome. We bought two cameras, both valued over $400, both sold within 2 days of listing them, and we paid him $40 for both of them. And we just, now the guy, our friend, will call us and let us know when he has cameras. So we just picked up two more, and he only wanted $15 for those two cameras. We have not posted them yet, but we ended up giving him $20 for it, and he was happy with that. So it just, the longer you are an eBay reseller, the more likely that you're going to establish good connections. So that's just the way it goes. But we've established some pretty good connections. And this camera was all in for $148. Next up, we have this Bose. Look for these, pick these up. I will say that as long as it has like the CD portion on the top of the Bose, that's the most desirable. They sell overnight. So you can see I've had so many overnight sales on a lot of this stuff, but those Bose, as long as they have the CD player, then you're golden. And this one sold for $155, and we only paid $5 for it at a community sale, I think. Next, we have this Plantronics. My husband picked this up at a thrift store for $10. It was new sealed. Again, it did sell overnight, and it sold for $138. Then we have this Batman 1966 Disney collector's item, and yes, you guessed it, we picked it up at the Disney house, and it took a couple of weeks to sell, but it did end up selling all in for $130. So that was extremely good sale. Then we have this Sonos, S-O-N-O-S play bar sound bar. This was pretty amazing. Justus and I went to a yard sale, and it was on a Sunday afternoon. Everything at this guy's sale should have been gone, and it wasn't. And he was closing down his eBay store. We ended up making a huge pile and a great deal with him. This soundbar was included in that deal. We paid $120 for the biggest pile ever of stuff. Sold overnight for $130. That was awesome. They are very desirable. I did not know that, but we ended up getting the power cord and testing it, and it did not play sound, but it did power on. So we disclosed that in the description, and it still sold for $130. So fantastic sell. The next we have this Suzuki. It's a motorcycle manual. It's vintage. They don't make them anymore. These manuals do really well. We paid $2 for it at a garage sale, and it sold, I think it took about a week and a half to sell, but it sold for $130 all in. Next, we have this Panasonic DMR DVD recorder. So and this was with the remote. On these DVD recorders, I'm extremely picky. This one was at, again, my friend Robin's estate sale, and it was in the master bedroom. It was plugged in. It was like almost new looking. It looked like they had just purchased it, but it was plugged in, so it was powered on. I could tell everything was working on it, had the remote, and so I went ahead and picked that up. And that's just because we've had so many issues with DVD recorders, like most resellers do. So we don't pick them up at the Goodwill or anything like that anymore for the most part. I did get lucky one time and pulled a $300 DVD recorder out of the Goodwill, but just super rare. And it was probably 1 in 20 that we ended up getting returned. So that one didn't get returned, but I'm just saying, like, mostly at the Goodwill, DVD recorders and CD recorders and changers and things like that, they're typically broken. So um, but anyway, we have this. It's a Small World. You guessed it. Came from the Disney house, and she sold for $120. She worked and was just a really nice collector's item. So I think she had a small, like, little dent on the plastic part of the outside of the box, or she would have sold for more at like 160. But I took a best offer on it because of that. I mean, collectors want their items perfect, and if they're not perfect, the seller is going to pay for it. Nike Cove 11 shoes. These I posted, and I just had so many people reach out to me, so many offers on it. I did end up selling it to a really good person, and it sold all in for $100. And then on shoes that are over $100, eBay pays for the shipping. So eBay will authenticate shoes that are over $100, and so that's why eBay pays for the shipping on them. So good deal. So then we have another item from the Disney house, the Batman 1992. They were sealed playing cards, and they sold for $106, and they were just that big. So super easy to ship. We ended up making a pile at the Disney house. We had items in there that was 400, 600 in value. The pile we paid was was $260 that we paid, and we ended up adding up our profit, and it was $1,350 in profit. So great weekend for sales that weekend. And next up, we have this Yuden cordless phone, and my husband picked this up at Goodwill for $6, and it sold for $95. He ended up picking up a couple of them. His sold within a couple of days. Mine took a couple of months to sell. Not sure why, but hey, it sold. So that was awesome. And then we have this vintage Bible. This one, I ended up selling it for $125. I shipped it, and the buyer ended up telling me that the presentation page was ripped out, which I did not see that. So they ended up sending it back, and I reposted it and put in the description that the presentation page was ripped out, and it sold within a day for $89. So not bad. And then we have this Memorex Boom Box. This one was brand new in the box. It wasn't sealed, but it was brand new. and it sold for $80. And then the last item that we have is this Coco Chanel perfume. This sold within 2 days of posting it, and it sold for $85 all in. So bunch of awesome, amazing sales, and I hope that you really enjoyed this video. I hope that it brought value to you. If so, please like, comment, and subscribe. Today is Friday, and Justus and I are going sourcing tomorrow, and we will have another one of those videos for you out next week on Tuesday or Wednesday, just depending on how long it takes to edit. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.